Hi, and welcome to Designer Discussions with Miriam, Jason, and Maria. Today, we're going to talk about developing your marketing and PR game plan for 2023. Welcome to the Designer Discussions podcast with
Jason,
Mirjam,
and Maria, where we talk about marketing, PR, and business advice for design professionals.
Are you ready to get serious about your marketing? We're opening the Designer Discussions Marketing Studio, a monthly series of in-depth, actionable content to guide your marketing, PR, and business development. We want to help you transform your business and elevate it to work with your dream clients.
Happy New Year's, everyone. Welcome to 2023. And today we're going to do a follow-up to the podcast we did last year, developing your marketing and PR game plan for 2022. That's episode 24. So if you are not familiar with that, go back and listen to that one before you listen to this one here, because me and Mirjam will be talking about some updates to that. So if you listen to that last one, or like I said, you should have already, because I had told you to head back anyway, but I had talked about market, message, and media. Okay. The 3 M's. I'm not going to go back over that because like I said, go back to episode 24 and re-listen to that. And then I actually talk about where each of those are. But moving forward, hopefully you all have actually went and listened to it and wrote down your goals for 2022 and you accomplished them. And now going into 2023 is just about hitting that next level. And so what we're talking about here is how do you get to that next level? And so once you have that market, message, and media right, now you know who your ideal client is. You now know how you're writing the content. And the next podcast after this, we're going to talk about website development for 2023. We're going to also talk about content for 2023 also. So the next few episodes will all build on each other, but this is the start. So here, once you have that game plan, once you know who your ideal client is, now you can develop the messaging to reach them where they are and have your message resonate with them so they can buy from you. And where I always start is your website. You have to have your website up to par. And you'll hear me talk about in episode 24 and also in other episodes about how important a website is. You'll often hear me tell the story about one of our clients that did Facebook ads, and that's all she had. So she only had a Facebook business profile and didn't have a website, and she did Facebook ads, ran them the wrong way, and her account got shut down. Then she found out the importance of a website because that's a property that you own. When you're developing your game plan, it all starts with the website because you have to have that in place. And what I've found and seen from a lot of designers is that even if they have a website, it's out of date. We're going to go more into detail on when we talk about the updates in the website for 2023, which is in next week's podcast. But what you want to know in terms of that is that you want to bring all of that information that you have on the website up to date. If you've worked in this industry for any amount of time, if your website is over a year old, you don't have any of your new work on your website. And so you want to ensure that all of that is there and that everybody that you're attracting, because remember, you already know your market, you develop the message, and the media is the website. And so now you're developing a message for your market that resonates with them. And so when you drive that traffic back to your website, you want it to represent you the right way. That is the start where you want to have the foundation for your marketing game plan. Next, you want to head into social media. With the social media, I'm not going to pinpoint a certain platform because there's a lot out there: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, TikTok. And once you know, like I said, head back to episode 24. Once you know your market, now you can reverse engineer and see which of the social media platforms you need to be on. And then that's going to help you determine the message for that platform, because each of the platforms, you have to develop the content a little different. So know that platform. And there's an exercise that you want to do. You want to do a competitor analysis on that platform to see what designers on there that are comparable to you that are actually using the platform, what are they doing? So you can analyze to see what the content is, and you can reverse engineer to see a gap analysis in the content to see where they are not filling in the blanks where you can, or where they're handling a topic or service that you can even enhance and add your take on how it should be done. So you want to do a competitor analysis on the platform after you have determined what the platform is from the market, and then reverse engineer, and then that'll help you develop the type of content for that platform. And we're going to do a future episode on, once you know the platform and once you've done that competitor analysis, how to use that to develop the content to reach your audience and drive them to your site. And so that's going to be a future podcast. And then the last one is you want to track. I talk about this all the time, and we even have an episode 73 on analytics that we just completed a few weeks ago. But this is even broader than analytics. It's about tracking. See, with the analytics, that was mainly with your site in terms of Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and I'm a say something to put Mirjam on blast. After that episode was over, she told me she didn't even have it on her website. So I'm gonna just say,
I'll put it on my list for next year. Okay.
So even in-house, we're not doing everything we're supposed to do, but beyond just the analytics, you want to track all that you do. So with the tracking, I'm talking about with email, because if you remember last year on episode 24, I had talked about email marketing. That's still vital now, but you want to have the paid version of whatever platform you're using so you can get access to the data. All of the calls that you get, the emails that come in, you want to have a way to track all of that information. Whether you have a software that tracks the calls, whether you have software that tracks the emails that come in, you want to have a way to track all of the information and all of the leads that comes into your site or comes into you by call, email, website, however they come in. You want to track all of this information because that helps you then analyze what's working, what's not, and helps you make informed business decisions that head in the right way. Because we've all heard what may or may not happen with the recession this year. That may or may not happen. Who knows? But at the end of the day, you need to be able to track all of the content, all of the information, all of the leads and how they come in, how they reached your site, how they reached your information. So now that can help you to inform how you need to alter or optimize what's happening so you can reach even more of that same type of prospect. So tracking is vital. And I say that for last because not a lot of designers are tracking. Even if you are outsourcing your marketing to a marketing agency, make sure you understand what they're doing in the tracking realm so you can then look at the numbers, look at the information, look at the data with them to understand what's happening and where you may need to make improvements to help the marketing team. And if you have marketing in-house, you really need to track the data because you want to make sure that you're marketing to the right audience, you're using the right platform, and you're sending off the right message. And the only way you're going to do that is by tracking. So make sure you do those three things, okay? And then I'm going to hand it over to Mirjam, and she's going to talk about the PR aspect.
Yes, and Jason, you just said something very important. It's like a lot of people are not doing certain things. Like I think the end of the year is a really good time to sort of take stock in what you have been doing for your business on the marketing PR side in the past year, and if that has been working for you and how you're going to change going forward. And I set the PR piece up this way because I'm fairly certain that most people who are listening to this, most designers who are listening, probably are not doing much PR, if any. So I think it's a great time to strategically think about, do you want to do PR or do you not? I'm not saying, do you want to get media coverage or not? I say, do you want to do PR? And if you decide you do, which I hope, because it can be a huge bonus for your business. It can really help you get to the next level. But if you do, maybe you've already been doing something. It's like, so you have to think about how much time, effort, and money you're willing to put into it. I'm like, are you going to hire somebody to help you with it? Are you going to hire an agency or a freelancer, or are you going to try doing it yourself? Are you going to get a coach like myself to help you do it? So I think that's the basic decision. Then let's just say that you decide you want to do PR, right? As you should. So let's say you want to do PR. Then go in and number one, if you whether or not you're working with somebody who helps you or you're doing it yourself, be sure and budget time to get it done. And I think this is the biggest problem that I often see. It's like people jump in and but then they don't want to dedicate any time towards it. And even if you have all the money in the world, you're still going to need some time to get it done. So put it on your calendar, decide how are you going to, I don't know, maybe you do 2 hours a week. Maybe you do a half a day a month, I'm like, maybe you do more or less. It's like, what are you willing to put into this? And depending on how much time and effort you're willing to put in, you can then decide what you want to do. It's like the 3 things that I include in every PR approach for an interior designers is like, there's the short-term media opportunities like Haro that we've talked a lot about in the past that are super helpful for SEO and content and building up your reputation as an expert. Then there's the projects and more feature type placements. Is that something you want? That gets a little bit more involved, obviously. And then there's other things like what I call sort of the bonus PR opportunities. There's awards, there's events that you can tap into. So think about what is important to you, what you want to do, what you want to spend your time on. And I think all 3 of those areas are good. Ideally, you would do all 3. And realistically, if you plan well for it, if you get a little bit of help, like I offer in my membership, for instance, I always say about 2 hours a week, and you're well on your way to building up your media and publicity awareness. Yeah, that's really it. I'm like, I think you have to make a decision. You have to plan for it. And then it all comes down to taking action. You can plan. I mean, you can write the most beautiful plan, but if you don't execute it and you're not consistent with it, you're not going to be successful. So the key for me is really more about mindset. It's like, you have to decide, am I going to do it or not? And then you have to work on your mindset so you can consistently execute. And that's how you can have a great PR year in 2023.
Awesome. And as I had mentioned at the start, listen to the next few podcasts in tandem, because we're going to talk about website updates and we're going to talk about content updates, and that all ties into helping you plan for this year. So this is just not a one podcast and now you have all you need to know for all of 2023. Like I said, where you need to start, go back to episode 24, where we did the developing your game plan for 2022. That was the foundational outline to where we are now. And then we're doing an update to that. And like I said, the next few podcasts after this is going to be about content. It's going to be about website, setting you up for the rest of the year.
We have an amazing avatar workbook. This is something special that we made just for interior design businesses so that you can sit down and spend a little time working on who your ideal client is and learning a lot more about them so that you can be marketing to them more effectively. And this is a free download available in the Marketing Studio, which is on our website. And we would love for you to go over, check it out, download it, and get this great resource that we have made for you. If you're wanting to get more information on marketing podcasts, we would recommend you looking at episode 24, like Jason mentioned, and look at episode 6 on what makes an interior designer marketable and for marketing for interior designers.
Are you ready to get serious about your marketing? We're opening the Designer Discussions Marketing Studio, a monthly series of in-depth, actionable content to guide your marketing, PR, and business development. We want to help you transform your business and elevate it to work with your dream clients.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Designer Discussions. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Jason, Maria, and Mirjam on social media? You can find them on all platforms at designerdiscussions.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you are listening.